أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ثم بعثنا من بعدهم موسى وهارون إلى فرعون وملئه بآياتنا فاستكبروا وكانوا قوما مجرمين. My dear respected elders and brothers, we were talking about Nuh alayhi salam last week and his birthat, him being sent to his people, his qawm. And like it is the tarz and the style of Quran and the Sabiqa, unfortunately, most of them, they had rejected the message that the messengers were bringing them. And not only Nuh alayhi salam, but we did after that in a mukhtasar form, in a very abbreviated form. Allah Ta'ala mentioned, ثُمَّ بَعَثْنَا مِن بَعْدِهِ رُسُولًا. That between Nuh alayhi salam and the prophet that we're going to read about today, actually two prophets, Musa and Harun, there were other Anbiya who came with clear proofs. كَذَّبُوا بِهِ مِن قَبْلِ. And from before they even came, these people were rejecting them already. And I explained to you last week that this became the common practice of all the aqwam, all the people who the prophets are being sent to them. They just kept rejecting and rejecting and rejecting, so much to the point that Allah Ta'ala said in another ayat of Quran, أَتَوَاصَوْا بِهِ, that it seems to be that these people had left a wasiyat for those people who coming after them, left some type of paper for those people coming after them, writing on it that when the prophet comes to you, make sure you reject him like we rejected him. Allah Ta'ala puts the question forward, أَتَوَاصَوْا بِهِ, but these people are making wasiyat that they should do the kufr with the Anbiya, that each qawm is rejecting the Anbiya. So this week, between Nuh alayhi salam, there were many prophets. This week we come on to Harun, Musa and Harun alayhimus salam. Allah Ta'ala mentions, ثُمَّ بَعَثْنَا مِن بَعْدِهِمْ. After those Anbiya who came after Nuh alayhi salam, many of them, and Allah Ta'ala explains them in other surahs, Allah Ta'ala says, we sent Musa and Harun. Of course, Musa alayhi salam was a prophet from Allah Ta'ala who was given the prophethood, and Harun alayhi salam was a prophet by virtue of the dua of his brother Musa alayhi salam. Musa alayhi salam made the best dua a brother could ever make for another brother, and he asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that solidify my nabuwwat by making my brother Nabi also. And Allah Ta'ala accepted that dua, and Harun alayhi salam, who was his older brother, became a Nabi of Allah Ta'ala also. So Allah Ta'ala sent him to Fir'aun wa mala'ihi, and his followers, his people, his courtiers. Mala'un is usually, in the Arabic language, spoken about those people in the community that are very popular, and usually the people's hearts are full with their respect and honor. That's why it comes from the word mala'un. In Arabic language, mala'a yamla'u means to be full. So these people are those people who the people's hearts are full with the respect and honor and awe of these people, because they are rich and they are very close to the leaders of the community, and the most popular and the most, and what they say goes. So Fir'aun had a lot of these people who he called his courtiers, his wuzara. They were his governors and people who he had elected next to him, who used to deal with the things of the Bani Israel and the Qibtiyun, and they used to deal with the affairs of Misr. So Allah Ta'ala sent not only to Fir'aun, but to the people who Fir'aun had next to him also, his mala, his groups. Bi ayatina, with our signs which we did before. The signs, of course, were many to Fir'aun, and in all of the Quran, the person who was given the most opportunity to bring Iman and the most opportunity by showing him ayat and signs was Fir'aun. First, two prophets were sent to him. Musa alayhi salam was sent not with one nishan, not with one sign, but two signs. Yadul Bayda, he had the beautiful illuminated hand, and he also had the staff which turned into a snake. After that, tisa ayatin, the different signs that were sent to Fir'aun, the frogs and the blood and the all the different signs that were sent to Fir'aun. All of these were to bring Fir'aun to accept Islam and to become a Muslim. But yet he rejected each one of those signs. That's why Allah Ta'ala says, فَاسْتَكْبَرُوا وَكَانُوا قَوْمًا مُجْرِمِينَ. They showed pride. They were prideful. They were haughty. In another ayat, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions about them, وَجَحَدُوا بِهَا وَاسْتَيْقَنَتْهَا أَنفُسُهُمْ ظُلْمًا وَعُلُوًّا. That Fir'aun and his people, they rejected the message of Musa alayhi salam, and they rejected the message of Harun, ظُلْمًا وَعُلُوًّا. They did it because they were oppressive, they were tyrants, وَعُلُوًّا, and they also were prideful, uluwa. They thought themselves to be lofty and higher than the Anbiya, and higher to the fact that they should suppress themselves and bring themselves onto the commandments of Allah Ta'ala. But the weird thing about that other ayat that I just recited was Allah Ta'ala says, فَاسْتَيْقَنَتْهَا أَنفُسُهُمْ. In their hearts they knew it was true. They understood it was true. And this is what takabbur is. Batrul haq. One day, one person, and the relation is from Ibn Mas'ud radiallahu anhu, that one man came to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he said that one person, he likes that his shoes are very beautiful and his clothes are very nice, dipper dapper. He likes to be very nicely dressed. So the person was trying to indicate to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam that this person might be mutakabbir. He should be a prideful person. So Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam told him that this is not takabbur, this is not pride. No person by wearing nice clothes becomes prideful. Because Allah Ta'ala is jameel, yuhibbul jamal. Allah Ta'ala is beautiful, and He loves when a person, of course if he does it with the right intentions, beautifies himself. There's no problem with looking nice. If you look bad, for example the turban, right? If you tie the turban, you don't like it, and you just tie it all messed up, so the people won't want to wear turban after that. One of our ustads went to his sheikh, Muhammad Hamid Saab, and he went to his sheikh and he told him that sometimes I give bayan, I give the speech, and before I give the speech I prepare it and I make a very beautiful bayan. I prepare the ayat, and it's so to say, I prepare the speech so that it's very beautiful in front of the people. Should I do this? So the sheikh told him, his ustad told him, that what do you want me to tell you? Give a bad bayan? Is that what you want me to tell you? Give a bad speech? That's where you're going to be sincere, and that's where the ikhlas and the sincerity is going to be? No, this is not against. We should recite the Quran beautifully. We should make sure our bayans are beautiful. Our clothes look beautiful. Nice looking shoes, clean apartment, nice house. The car should look beautiful and clean. This is all. But what is takabbur? What is pride? Batrul haq. It is to reject that which is truth. And this is what Allah Ta'ala is saying. فَاسْتَكْبَرُوا. It doesn't mean that they didn't know that Musa was a prophet, that they didn't know that Harun was a prophet and Allah Ta'ala was their Lord. But takabbur, they had that pride. Fir'aun could not give up his kingdom and suppress himself and bow his head to who the real Lord and Malik is. One day, it's mentioned in the books of Tafseer that when the drought came in Misr, so the people came to Fir'aun and they told Fir'aun that you are Rabbukum al-A'la, you are our Aliha, you are the Lord of all the worlds, and no rain is coming? Can you please get out there and do something for us? So Fir'aun gathered all the people, and he went and had all the people there, and he went and he put his head down and took his hat off, and he told Allah Ta'ala that, oh Allah, I know you're the Ilah, I know you're Allah. And these people, they're not going to think that I'm the Rabb if they don't believe in me, if they don't see the rain. So please, let it rain and let it come down so they can still believe that I'm Rabb and I'm the Lord. The drops started coming down and it started raining, and everyone started saying that Fir'aun Rabbukum al-A'la. He's the one who's Rabb. Look at the rain has come down. And we'll deal with that as coming later on. All these things that were given to Fir'aun was to lead him astray. So Allah Ta'ala says, فَاسْتَكْبَرُوا. One of the worst sins a person can have is takabbur, pride, thinking that he's better than the next person. وَكَانُوا قَوْمًا مُجْرِمِينَ. And the other reason why they stayed away from the haqq and the truth is they were mujrimeen. They were sinners. They were evildoers. A person, when he sins, he stays away from haqq, and he cannot understand what is truth and what is batil. After this, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala goes into the story in detail of what happened with Fir'aun and Musa and Harun. Allah Ta'ala mentions, فَلَمَّا جَاءَهُمُ الْحَقُّ مِنْ عِنْدِنَا قالوا إن هذا لسحر مبين. Allah Ta'ala says, فَلَمَّا جَاءَهُمُ الْحَقُّ. And when truth came to him, when Musa and Harun came to him, and Musa showed his staff to him, and showed him Yadul Bayda, the illuminating hand. So what did he say? قالوا, they said, not only Fir'aun, but Mala'ihi, also his courtiers, and the people who were following him, they said, Inna hada la sihrun mubin. This is pure magic. This is clearly some type of magical spell you're putting on us, where this is magic. Of course, they knew it wasn't magic, so that's why Musa alayhi salam replied in this way. قال موسى أتقولون للحق لما جاءكم أسحر هذا ولا يفلح الساحرون. Allah Ta'ala says that Musa said after this, أتقولون للحق. Are you people saying for that which is truth? لما جاءكم, after it has come to you? This was not in one book that now we're talking about truth, or you heard about it. I have brung Yadul Bayda, my hand is shining in front of you. I also have brung you the staff that turned into a snake, and you know that wasn't magic as well. Plus, look at the nur on the face of Musa alayhi salam, the nur on the face of Harun alayhi salam, the message of the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You know that you're doing wrong with Bani Israel. All of these different things that are in front of you, and now you have the nerve to say that this haqq and truth that I'm coming in front of you is magic? So that's why Musa alayhi salam replied back with a question. أَتَقُولُونَ لِلْحَقِّ لَمَّا جَاءَكُمْ. Are you saying to that which is the truth after it's come to you? Are you saying what? أَسِحْرٌ هَذَا? You have the nerve to ask that question? That is this magic? وَلَا يُفْلِحُ السَّاحِرُونَ. Being the fact that magicians, they are never successful in their work. A magician can never bring anything like this to you and never have falah and bring that. And even the magicians will fall in front of you, Fir'aun. You know that. They'll be scared of you and they'll die in front of you. But look at this. I brought the haqq in front of you. And how could you say that this is magic? After this, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala shows because Fir'aun was the president also. So he was a very political person. He was very smart. And he knew that the words of Musa and Fir'aun, it was moving his courtiers. Even to such an extent that we know from other ayat of Quran that some people who were very close to Fir'aun, min ali Fir'aun, they accepted Islam. And they had told the other people that, listen, this prophet is only saying that there's one Allah, there's no crime in that, and I think the punishment from the people of before is going to come on us as well. It comes in other ayat of Quran. Even when Musa alayhi salam had to escape out of Misr, it was that same man from the family of Fir'aun who was in the kingdom of Fir'aun. He went and he warned Musa alayhi salam that they're trying to come and kill you, make sure you get out of here. And he helped him out. So Fir'aun knew this, that these words of Musa alayhi salam, these missiles of nur that were going right into the hearts of each person, he knew they were being moved by it. So right away, quickly, he made a political move and said that no, these people don't have ikhlas, they don't have the sincerity. It's a political movement that they are doing. Allah Ta'ala says, قالوا أجئتنا لتلفتنا عما وجدنا عليه آباءنا وتكون لكما الكبرياء في الأرض وما نحن لكما بمؤمنين. قالوا أجئتنا. And they said, أجئتنا لتلفتنا. That they have come, لتلفتنا, to turn us away from that which we have found our forefathers upon. That's their purpose. They don't like what our forefathers did. Now they want us to turn away from that beautiful path that our forefathers have opened up to us, where they have said that we should worship idols and we should be tyrants and we should make sure we stay on top and run the Misr. They want us to get away from that. And what do they want? وَتَكُونَ لَكُمَ الْكِبْرِيَاءُ. And they want that both of them can become the leaders, kibriya. They can become the leaders of you. They can become over you. Musa and Harun, they're looking for presidency and vice presidency. This is their campaign. This is their campaign, and they want to be your leaders. Kibriya'u fil ard. They want what I have, and they want to become king and vice president. وَمَا نَحْنُ لَكُمَا بِمُؤْمِنِينَ. We are not going to believe in you because you people are not real prophets. You are coming with some agenda. Allah Ta'ala then mentions after this, وَقَالَ فِرْعَوْنُ ائْتُونِي بِكُلِّ سَاحِرٍ عَلِيمٍ. Since Fir'aun said that this is sihr and this is magic, so now I have to try and challenge it and prove that maybe there's some magic out there that can destroy this. So Fir'aun gave the hukum to all of his people, and Fir'aun said that bring to me every single magician who is knowledgeable, every master, professional magician. And at that time we know from the history that magic was rampant. It was ripe and rampant. It was everywhere. Magic, the magicians, people were going and they were doing magic and they were putting spells on each other and they were, trying to learn about the future. Like today, it's still there. But at that time, it was even more. So magic was the talk of the day. So Fir'aun, of course, who had the money and knew everybody, so he said, all those magicians who are professionals and they know what they're doing, come forward, tell them, bring them to me. We're going to have a challenge with Musa alayhi salam. The story, of course, is much more in detail. In other parts, we will go over it there. Allah Ta'ala here is skipping parts because this is no storybook. The Quran has stories in it, but it's not a storybook. And it's very concise with its stories. Because if it gets too detailed, then you'll be wondering that, who Sulaykha is, and Musa, what about more about his wife, and what about Musa alayhi salam, what color was his skin, and how big was his beard, and Harun, was he taller than him or shorter? And all of these things are what? Maqsad. They are not the purpose of the story. The purpose of the story is that person who followed batil and followed wrong, he was destroyed, and that person who was on haqq and truth, he became victorious. And that's always the outcome, the natija. So Allah Ta'ala says here that فَلَمَّا جَاءَ السَّحَرَةُ قال لهم موسى ألقوا ما أنتم ملقون. So Fir'aun, he now put out the signs and the and announcements that everyone should come to the Maidan and come to the field, and there will be a very big, everyone, all the Bani Israel, everyone should come and see what's going to happen. Some Mufassirin say that the Sahara, the magicians that came were in the thousands. All of the magicians from Misr and from the Egypt, they came in order to now challenge Fir'aun, because they knew also that this person had came with some very strong, powerful, whatever he had, it was very powerful. They had not seen it yet. They thought it must have been some powerful magic, but they said, let us get together and then we can, try and fight him against his magic. So Allah Ta'ala says that when the magicians came, قَالَ لَهُمْ, so Musa alayhi salam, he said to them, أَلْقُوا, that you put down, place down, مَا أَنْتُمْ مُلْقُونَ, whatever you want to place down. Whatever you want to do it. You go first. One question arises here, that the magic that they were doing was haram, obviously. It was against the Sharia and something which was wrong. So how could Musa tell them to do something wrong, to do something haram? How could a prophet tell someone to do something wrong? So the ulama give the answer, and they say that in the field of da'wah, when you are propagating and you want to do itmam al-hujjah, when you want to establish a proof on someone, sometimes you will be compelled to hear something from the person, to set him up. So that you have to set him up. Like Ibrahim alayhi salam, when his people were said, they want to go to the Eid with us, we were going out, you want to come with us? He said no, he wanted to stay there. And after that, he broke the idols. So first of all, he should have went with them. No, he was setting up his hujjah, his dalil, his proof against them. Then even after that, what he did something which was not even logical, and something he didn't believe. He hung the axe on the big idol. And when they came to me, he said, ask Kabiru, ask the big one. Ask him. Even though he understood also that large idol could not do. But why he did this? So they can say in their own mouths, that, what? He's an idol. He can't do nothing. He can't do anything. And then after that, Ibrahim alayhi salam obviously said, so why are you worshipping him for? So sometimes when we give the da'wah, you set the person up to say something. You set the person up to say something. I remember one day some young men, there was an old man who used to pray in our masjid. He was a very tough man, good man, mashallah, give good da'wah to the kids and young kids. And he always catch you. He's very witty, and he'd always catch you out there. So the youngsters, they would always, bother him and stuff like this. So the youngsters, once he was saying something was wrong was going on in the masjid, there was something you're not supposed to do. So then the youngsters, they told him that we cannot do that, but the old men in our masjid, they are doing that though. They are doing that, the old men in our masjid. So the brother was with you, so now he wanted to bring something upon them. So what he said, oh, the ones with the big beards? They said, yeah, those ones. So then he said, so why are you not growing the big beard like them also? Why you want to follow? Grow the big beard also like them as well. So this is, you have to set it up sometimes. You have to set up the person in order to now let him say something. When we speak to the non-Muslim sometimes, you let him speak. And then now he catches himself, and then now you got him. Right? So the same thing Musa alayhi salam. If you would have thrown the staff down and the snakes would have, the snake would have came out, they probably would have accepted Islam. But we would have never seen their magic become batil also. We would never seen that the haqq can over. People would have said maybe, what if they would have thrown the staff? I wonder what their magic was like. It's possible that their magic was something great also. 10,000 magicians throwing in snakes. I wonder what it was. They should have gave him a chance. So that's why Musa alayhi salam, he told them, you go first. And when they threw it down, ma antum mulkun. You go first and you throw whatever you have to throw down. After this, Allah Ta'ala says, فَلَمَّا أَلْقَوْا قَالَ مُوسَى مَا جِئْتُمْ بِهِ السِّحْرُ إِنَّ اللَّهَ سَيُبْطِلُهُ إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يُصْلِحُ الْعَمَلَ الْمُفْسِدِينَ. Allah Ta'ala says, فَلَمَّا أَلْقَوْا, when they put it down and they placed down their staffs, and their staffs were moving. It looked like snakes, but it was magic. That's why Musa alayhi salam says, well, Musa, ma jittum bihi sihr. This what you came with is only magic. Only all that you've come with is magic. That's it. I can even tell it's magic also. And it was incredible magic what they did. The ulama of tafsir, they have said that what they did is they had their staffs and they put mercury on it. You know mercury? Mercury is that stuff that you see in the temperature that your mom says don't bite, right? Because mothers usually know it's poisonous, right? So they know that don't bite on the thermometer, because if the mercury goes in your mouth, you'll become a monster, right? You'll die. So the mercury, that little red thing, very, very poisonous. It's very magnetic also. That's why it's basically like a magnet catching onto the temperature and all these things. So what they did is they spread this mercury on their sticks, and when they threw this down, then it looked like they were snakes on the floor, the people. Right? They were looking at it and thought that these were snakes on the floor. That's why it's mentioned in the books of Tariq and history that in Spain, there was one place they used to call Zahra. It was a garden in Spain that the Khalifas used to spend a lot of money on. And there was one masjid that they built in there where the people who built it, on top of the masjid, they put a large plate of mercury on top. A large plate of mercury. And when you came into the masjid, when the sun would hit that mercury, and you came into the masjid, it would give you the effect that you were underwater. When you used to come in the masjid, it used to feel like you were underwater. And the people, of course, it's something nice in the masjid. Now they make masjid like, you're underwater, like you're swimming. But of course, the ulama then stopped it because, of course, it's not good. You're coming to the masjid thinking you're underwater. Everyone's coming now thinking that they're swimming. I wonder what all the kids will be like this or walking around. And also because it was dangerous as well. The ulama said this mercury, it's poisonous. The sun hitting it, something may happen. So they stopped that. So this is how they did the magic. So Allah Ta'ala says that فَلَمَّا أَلْقَوْا, when they put it down, so Musa alayhi salam knew it was magic, and he said, مَا جِئْتُمْ بِهِ السِّحْرِ, all you have come with is magic. That's it. This is clearly magic. إِنَّ اللَّهَ سَيُبْطِلُهُ, Allah Ta'ala will destroy this magic. This is the yaqeen of the Nabi. Allah Ta'ala will definitely destroy this magic. Why? إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يُصْلِحُ عَمَلَ الْمُفْسِدِينَ. Allah Ta'ala will never set right the actions of those who are magicians. Will never set it right. Of course, we know sometimes from this statement that magic does affect people, right? Sihr is haqq, it's true. And it can affect it. It even affected Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. But here what he's talking about, Musa alayhi salam, is when you have magic which is batil, and it's going against haqq, and everybody is watching it and they understand that this is haqq versus batil. magic versus truth, falsehood versus truth. So in that muqabala and in that battle, Allah Ta'ala will never make the magician successful. He will always make the haqq and the truth successful. Allah Ta'ala after this mentions, وَيُحِقَّ اللَّهُ الْحَقَّ وَيُحِقُّ اللَّهُ الْحَقَّ بِكَلِمَاتِهِ وَلَوْ كَرِهَ الْمُجْرِمُونَ. Allah Ta'ala says, وَيُحِقُّ اللَّهُ, and Allah Ta'ala will establish the truth, بِكَلِمَاتِهِ, with His word, with His order. And He will say to Musa alayhi salam, Ulqu, put your staff down, and see how it becomes a snake and swallows everything else up. وَلَوْ كَرِهَ الْمُجْرِمُونَ, even if the magicians, Fir'aun, all his courtiers, anybody doesn't like it, there will come a time when Allah Ta'ala will establish the truth, whether you like it or you don't. Allah Ta'ala then, of course, after this, does not go into what happened to the magicians. And we know from other ayat that Allah Ta'ala told Musa alayhi salam that to put your staff down. He put it down, and a large snake, which was larger than all of theirs, then appeared and became from the stick. It appeared then the snake, and it ate all of the small other staffs and the snakes. And then those people who were magicians at that time, they understood magic. They knew this could not be magic, and they all made sajda, and they believed in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. After this, Allah Ta'ala mentions about the Bani Israel. Now, what happened after this? فَمَا آمَنَ لِمُوسَى إِلَّا ذُرِّيَّةٌ مِّن قَوْمِهِ عَلَى خَوْفٍ مِّن فِرْعَوْنَ وَمَلَئِهِمْ أَن يَفْتِنَهُمْ وَإِنَّ فِرْعَوْنَ لَعَالٍ فِي الْأَرْضِ وَإِنَّهُ لَمِنَ الْمُسْرِفِينَ. Allah Ta'ala says, فَمَا آمَنَ لِمُوسَى إِلَّا ذُرِّيَّةٌ. After this, because Musa alayhi salam now after this, Fir'aun had a certain fear of Musa alayhi salam. He didn't bother Musa alayhi salam after this. Musa stayed in Misr and he worked amongst the Bani Israel, and Fir'aun stayed in his palace and he didn't really do nothing with him, because that snake, he didn't want to see that again. That's the second time he saw the snake. First time was in front of him, and second time was then after that. Here. So he didn't want to see that snake again, and he realized that Musa, I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm not going to have him come in front of me and make a fool out of me. So let me just keep my distance, and I'll just make zulm on his people, and his people won't believe him. They're afraid of me. He's not afraid. So that's why Allah Ta'ala says after this, فَمَا آمَنْ لِمُوسَى إِلَّا ذُرِّيَّةٌ. That nobody brought iman for Musa alayhi salam. Nobody believed in Musa alayhi salam except for some young men, dhurriya. Some young men, larke, some young men, min qawmihi, from his people. Those young men, of course, who are a little bit brave, right? The older people, they are doing something for many, many years. So they feel that we've been doing this for years, we can't change now. And plus, they are old also. They don't have the ability to deal with the punishment and to deal with the soldiers hitting them and all the things that Fir'aun was doing. But you had some of the youngsters who were ready, and they didn't want to live that life that their father lived in slavery and building palaces for Fir'aun and statues. They didn't want to do that. So they believed in Musa alayhi salam. So from his people, there's a group of young people, they believed. عَلَى خَوْفٍ مِّن فِرْعَوْنَ. And why the others didn't believe? عَلَى خَوْفٍ مِّن فِرْعَوْنَ. Because they were afraid of Fir'aun. وَمَلَئِهِمْ. And also they were afraid of his courtiers, the governors who were outside, his leaders who had whips and they were hitting them all the time and punishing them. They were afraid of them. They didn't want to get punished by them. أَيَّفْتِنَهُمْ. That they would punish them. They didn't want to be punished and be hit by these people. وَإِنَّ فِرْعَوْنَ لَعَالٍ فِي الْأَرْضِ. And this was not something bad by the Bani Israel, right? Sometimes we may think because we are believers and no one's bothering us, that's astaghfirullah, is Bani Israel. Musa's in front of them and they're not believing. What type of people are they? If I was there, what I would have done? Somebody came to Ibn Masud radiallahu anhu, and he was at the time of Ibn Masud, and he told him, I wish that I was at the time of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam and I was a Sahabi. Oh, what I would have done that time. So Ibn Masud radiallahu anhu said, hey, don't ask for that. We didn't have any food at that time. Right now you're eating nicely and you have dinner and everything, and we have money now. Time of Nabi Sallallahu was not easy. You might have been on the other side with the mushrik in Mecca rejecting Nabi Sallallahu. Make shukr Allah Ta'ala made you in this zamana so that now you can, it's much easier for you. So Allah Ta'ala after this mentions, showing that the Bani Israel, this was nothing very bad for them. Why? وَإِنَّ فِرْعَوْنَ لَعَالٍ فِي الْأَرْضِ. Fir'aun was the highest person in the world. Whatever he said went. If he said kill that person, you were in pieces. And nobody could. There was no type of, what did it say? The laws of the whole world. What is it? Human rights. No human rights at that time. The human right activist came, he'd get killed also. He'd get killed also. It was Fir'aun's rights at that time. لَعَالٍ فِي الْأَرْضِ. Nobody could say anything to him. وَإِنَّهُ لَمِنَ الْمُسْرِفِينَ. And on top of that, one is if someone's the leader and he's a nice person. وَإِنَّهُ لَمِنَ الْمُسْرِفِينَ. He was from those people who were the transgressors. He used to go past the limits. And he used to, we know that Dhul Awtad, one of the tafseers, they say Fir'aun was Dhul Awtad, is that he would crucify people. He used to like this, get enjoyment out of it. Put someone up and crucify him. And many ulama say his own wife he crucified later on. His own wife he crucified after he found out that she became Muslim. So Allah Ta'ala mentions this at the end of the ayah to show that Bani Israel had an excuse for not bringing Iman. You probably wouldn't have brought Iman also at that time. Then Allah Ta'ala says after this, what's the only nuskha? Now you have a tyrant in front of you. What's the only way now that you can believe in Allah Ta'ala and deal with the difficulties of that tyrant? So Allah Ta'ala says, وَقَالَ مُوسَى يَا قَوْمِ إِن كُنتُمْ آمَنْتُمْ بِاللَّهِ إن كنتم آمنتم بالله فعليه توكلوا إن كنتم مسلمين. Allah Ta'ala says that Musa after that, he didn't give up on the Bani Israel, but he said, "Oh my people, if you are believers in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so after that you're going to have to bring tawakkul. Tawakkalu. You're going to have the barosa and the trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is the only thing. And who are you trusting in? Fir'aun la'alan fil ard. He's nothing compared to my Allah. My Allah is the one who has created Fir'aun. My Allah is the one that owns the kingdom of the skies and the earth. This kingdom is nothing in front of Allah. And Allah Ta'ala will give you victory, inshallah. You have to have tawakkul. Nothing's given on a golden plate, right? You have to bring iman, and after that, you have to have the tawakkul in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In kuntum muslimin, if you are going to obey Allah Ta'ala, and if you want Jannah and to get out of the situation of Fir'aun, so you have to bring tawakkul. And this is a very important thing that Nabi Islam and the Sahaba, and it's all over Quran, that فَعَلَى اللَّهِ فَلْيَتَوَكَّلِ الْمُتَوَكِّلُونَ. On Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, those people who lay trust, should lay trust on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Tawakkul. There are some times where in front of us, we can never handle the situation. The only way we can handle the situation is through tawakkul, and that is depending on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that Ya Allah, you will take me out of this situation. You're the only one that can help me in this. So after this, Musa alayhi salam said this, the Bani Israel, they understood what Musa alayhi salam was saying. And they said, فَقَالُوا عَلَى اللَّهِ تَوَكَّلْنَا رَبَّنَا لَا تَجْعَلْنَا فِتْنَةً لِلْقَوْمِ الظَّالِمِينَ. Allah Ta'ala says, فَقَالُوا, and they said, عَلَى اللَّهِ تَوَكَّلْنَا. We will depend only on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The Bani Israel brought iman. And they started now believing in Musa alayhi salam. The ulama say that Musa alayhi salam, though these ayats are not saying it, but Musa alayhi salam's haqq started becoming more and more apparent. So the Bani Israel, they started seeing this. So now they brought the iman and they said that we will depend on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We will depend on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. By them depending on Allah ta'ala and bringing the iman, right away Allah ta'ala started putting the hikmat in them and the wisdom. And they made this incredible dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That, what they said, where am I? Okay. رَبَّنَا لَا تَجْعَلْنَا فِتْنَةً لِلْقَوْمِ الظَّالِمِينَ. O Allah, do not make us a trial for those who are the oppressors. Now let's look at the beginning of this ayah. First of all, they said we depend on Allah ta'ala. We depend. But the last part of the ayat, ajib dua they made. And we should always make this dua also. What they are saying and how, the question arises, is how can they be fitna for the Qawm al-Dhalimeen? That's the question. How can they be a test and how can they be a trial for the Qawm al-Dhalimeen? The Zalimeen are the ones who are beating and killing them. So how are they saying that? Don't make us a fitna for them. So what they are saying is that, oh Musa, we bring tawakkul, we trust on Allah Ta'ala. But let Allah Ta'ala help us after this. It shouldn't be such that tawakkul, and then after that we're getting beat from post to post and we're getting killed every day. If we are getting killed every day like that, we will become a fitna for the other people. Why? The other people will see that these people believe in one Allah. We believe in Musa alayhi salam. They believe in all the things which are haqq and true, and still they are getting beat down and killed, and still Fir'aun is Fir'aun, and still the people are, the Fir'aun and his people are still overpowering them. So what happens? These people will start saying that those people who are on haqq, that's not actually haqq. We want to stay away from that. Because we see that every time those people say they believe in Musa, a difficulty happens, and now those people who are zalimeen, they never come close to the deen of Allah Ta'ala. Those people who are watching from outside, oh, Fir'aun killed another 50 people from Bani Israel today. And Musa said, tawakkul. They're saying we tawakkul on Allah Ta'ala. But still, every day they're dying and getting killed. No, I don't want to be a part of that. So by this, they become a fitna and they become a what? A trial for those people who are the zalimeen. The zalimeen will never accept Islam after that. They will never come. That's why we have to make this dua also. So many people are not coming into Islam today because they are seeing what the Muslims are going through. You want me to be like that? Become a Muslim and go through those things? What does Islam have to offer me? Right? So what if we become those people who now are getting a Muslim and they're getting oppressed by others? They are what? They are becoming a fitna, a trial for those people who are non-believers. Because non-believers from the outside are looking at them and they are saying that if these people are going through this and they have the truth, and I, mashallah, I'm sitting in my house and I've got my beautiful car and food, and I'm in what they say is batil, so I'd rather be on batil and be on falsehood than to be going what they're going through. So that's why the Bani Israel after this, after they said that we bring tawakkul on Allah Ta'ala, but let it be such also that we can get out of this situation. Oh Allah, do not make us a trial for those people who are the zalimeen, those people who are oppressors. وَنَجِّنَا بِرَحْمَتِكَ مِنَ الْقَوْمِ الْكَافِرِينَ, and save us by your mercy from those people who are disbelievers, that we can be saved from them and they will not punish us anymore. After this, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent wahi to Musa alayhi salam. وَأَوْحَيْنَا إِلَى مُوسَى وَأَخِيهِ أَن تَبَوَّأَ لِقَوْمِكُمَا. Sorry, this is a tongue twister and Americans have a hard time with Quran. لِقَوْمِكُمَا بِمِصْرَ بِيُوتًا وَجَعَلُوا بُيُوتَكُمْ قِبْلَةً وَأَقِيمُوا الصَّلَاةَ وَبَشِّرِ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ. وَأَوْحَيْنَا إِلَى مُوسَى, and we sent the wahi, we sent the revelation to Musa alayhi salam and his brothers. أَن تَبَوَّأَ, that you should build, لِقَوْمِكُمَا, that you should build for your people, for both of your people, بِمِصْرَ, in Misr, buyutan, houses. The people of the Bani Israel, they lived right on the outskirts of the palace of Fir'aun. Because when Fir'aun will come out, get right to work and start building up my palace more. So right on the outskirts of the palace, they used to live. So Allah Ta'ala gave the hukm to Musa and Harun that this person, Fir'aun, is not accepting Islam. And different types of adab and punishment are going to start coming on him. Take your people away from there. Move your people out farther. He's not going to do anything anyway. He doesn't want to see that staff again. He's scared of that. And he's not going to come. So move them out now from there and put them in houses outside, more farther away from the mahal and from the palace of Musa alayhi salam. وَجَعَلُوا بُيُوتَكُمْ قِبْلَةً, and make your houses into qibla, places of salat. Meaning establish the prayer. Because the people, the Bani Israel, they were very scared to go out and pray. They didn't want to pray in congregation. They didn't want to go out. They had already left Fir'aun. Now the soldiers are around. They got very scared. So Allah Ta'ala then told Musa and Harun, pray in your houses. وَجَعَلُوا بِيُوتَمْ قِبْلَةً, and make your houses the qibla. Make it the place of your houses. وَأَقِيمُوا الصَّلَاةَ, and establish the prayer. Start praying to Allah Ta'ala and start doing ibadah. وَبَشِّرِ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ, and give glad tidings to those who believe that victory is close. They are going to beat Fir'aun. After this, Allah Ta'ala says, وَقَالَ مُوسَى رَبَّنَا إِنَّكَ آتَيْتَ فِرْعَوْنَ وَمَلَأَهُ زِينَةً وَأَمْوَالًا فِي الْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا رَبَّنَا لِيُضِلُّوا عَنْ سَبِيلِكَ رَبَّنَا اطْمِسْ عَلَىٰ أَمْوَالِهِمْ واشدد على قلوبهم فلا يؤمنوا حتى يروا العذاب الأليم. Allah Ta'ala then, the worst thing that Fir'aun could have happened, Musa alayhi salam started making the bad dua. He started making dua against Fir'aun. Fed up with Fir'aun, enough signs I've sent, this guy's done. He's finished, and now we have to, the prophet who is so soft-hearted, and such a person who wants everyone to get hidayat, he raises his hands and makes dua against that person. Now he's done and finished. So Musa alayhi salam raised his hands and makes the dua, Rabbana, O my Lord, innaka atayta Fir'aun. You have given Fir'aun, wa mala'ahu, and his people, zinatan, adornments, beauty, wa amwalan, and money, fil hayati dunya, in this worldly life. They have palaces and money and women, everything they have. رَبَّنَا لِيُضِلُّوا عَنْ سَبِيلِكَ. Oh Allah, you have done all this so that you may lead him astray from the path. This is the same thing I told you many times about istidraj. That Allah Ta'ala, when He wants to lead someone astray, He doesn't take things away from him, He gives him more. So that person can now get farther away from Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, then baghdatan, then all of a sudden Allah Ta'ala takes him in that halat, in that state of ghaflat and unmindfulness. So that's why when Musa alayhi salam said, Rabbana liyudhillu an sabilik. All of this was given to him, so Allah, you may lead him astray. Rabbana tmis ala amwalihim. Oh Allah, destroy all of his money. Washdud ala qulubihim. Harden their hearts. Fala yu'minu, and make it such that they don't believe until they see the painful punishment. Let them understand who you are, but it's too late. Let them understand that. Let them bring Iman and see that, oh Allah, you are one, but it's too late because they are already in the punishment of Allah Ta'ala. After this, Allah Ta'ala says, قَالَ قَدْ أُجِيبَتْ دَعْوَتُكُمَا فَاسْتَقِيمَا وَلَا تَتَّبِعَانِ سَبِيلَ الَّذِينَ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ. Allah Ta'ala says, we have accepted both of your du'as. Being the fact that Musa alayhi salam only made dua, but Allah Ta'ala said that I have accepted both of your duas. So why would He say that? That Musa and Harun, only Musa made the dua. So the ulama say that Musa alayhi salam was making dua and Harun was saying Ameen, Ameen, Ameen behind him. فَاسْتَقِيمَا. So be steadfast. I have accepted your dua, now it's time for you to be steadfast. Agar thodi der se, right? If it comes a little late, if you make this dua and it's after 3, 4, 5 years, it's going to come where Fir'aun's going to be destroyed, but now I've accepted the dua. But when it's going to happen, that's up to me. I will do that. So fastaqima, stay steadfast. Fir'aun's end is going to come. وَلَا تَتَّبِعَانِ سَبِيلَ الَّذِينَ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ. And don't follow the path of those people who don't know who Allah Ta'ala is. People will come and they will keep telling you, Fir'aun, 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 Fir'aun. His people, his people. What are we going to do? Don't worry about it. You stay on my ahkam and my laws. Inshallah, at the ending you'll see, Fir'aun will be destroyed. Allah Ta'ala then mentions, وَجَاوَزْنَا بِبَنِي إِسْرَائِيلَ الْبَحْرَ فَأَتْبَعَهُمْ فِرْعَوْنُ وَجُنُودُهُ بَغْيًا وَعَدْوًا حتى إذا أدركه الغرق قال آمنت أنه لا إله إلا الذي آمنت به بنو إسرائيل وأنا من المسلمين. The people of Bani Israel, Allah Ta'ala says, وَجَاوَزْنَا بِبَنِي إِسْرَائِيلِ الْبَحْرَ. Allah Ta'ala says that we made the Bani Israel pass the ocean. And we know the Red Sea, They had come to the Red Sea, and Musa alayhi salam got there. The people of Bani Israel thought that they were going to die. Allah Ta'ala split the sea, and it was the great miracle of Musa alayhi salam, and the people of Bani Israel, they passed through there. فَأَتْبَعَهُمْ فِرْعَوْنَ. And Fir'aun was crazy. He went and he followed them. When he saw it open up, and his people also second guessed it. And they said that, oh Fir'aun, what are you doing? We're going to go in there and go. He said, what are you talking about? I just split that. I just split this. It's me that did it. Let's go. So they went in there. So فَأَتْبَعَهُمْ فِرْعَوْنَ. So Fir'aun and his army, they both followed them, baghya, in oppression, wa adwa, and in enmity. They had so much hatred for the Bani Israel that they were ready to commit this suicide and go into there. And they went there, oppression. They wanted to oppress them, wa adwa, and they were enemies of Musa and Fir'aun and Musa and Bani Israel. حَتَّى إِذَا أَدْرَكَهُ الْغَرْقُ. Until the drowning overtook him. Allah Ta'ala closed the ocean upon him, and then Fir'aun was killed. When he was killed and the gharq, and it overtook him, and he was dying in the ocean, and he was about to die, and his air is coming out. So what did he say under the water? قَالَ آمَنْتُ. I believe, أَنَّهُ, that he, that there is no God except he who the Banu Israel believed in. وَأَنَا مِنَ الْمُسْلِمِينَ, and I am the believer. Fir'aun brought iman. And this was the, first of all, the showing that Musa alayhi salam's dua was accepted. That, he asked Allah Ta'ala that let him not become a Muslim or believer until he sees the punishment. And this is what happened. Fir'aun was in gharq. This is what we call imani ghargara. Imani ghargara, meaning when a person now is in the throes of his death, and he's right in his last halat, and in that stage also the person starts seeing the barzakh in the hereafter. He sees the angels, the malaika, he starts seeing things. At that time, if he says, Amantu billah, and I believe in Allah. So at that time, the iman, according to Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah, and that is us, we believe that that iman is not accepted. In the throes of death, the last second a person brings, his iman is not accepted. This is what Fir'aun did. And Fir'aun, even if we look at the statement and how Fir'aun brought iman, he still couldn't say Allah. He still could not say Allah, if you look at it. He could have just said, Amantu billah. So what he said? Amantu, I believe that annahu la ilaha, that there is no Lord except He who the Banu Israel believed in. That Lord who the Banu Israel believed in. He couldn't say Allah though. He couldn't say Amantu billah. He had to say, I believe in that Lord that Banu Israel, they believed in, I believe in them also. Because it looks like that was the truth, because I'm in a big problem. وَأَنَا مِنَ الْمُسْلِمِينَ, and I am from those people who are obedient, and I am a believer. Allah Ta'ala replied to Fir'aun, الآن وقد عصيت قبل وكنت من المفسدين. الآن. Al-an means now, and this Hamza is for istifham, question. So Allah Ta'ala said, now? Now you want to believe? This is the time to believe? After Tisa ayatin, Yadul Bayda, all the warnings, all the signs. Now you want to say Amantu Billah after all of that? So Allah Ta'ala says, now? وَقَدْ عَسَيْتَ قَبْلُ, and you had rejected and refused before. وَكُنْتَ مِنَ الْمُفْسِدِينَ, and you were from those people who were from the evil ones. All that time, that evil, that rejection, you think now I'm going to forgive you? It doesn't work like that. I remember when we were students, we went to one of our teachers' houses. It was the last day we were leaving back to America. So we told, Ya Ustad Ji, mashallah, you taught us all year, Hamara takalif wagera ko maaf karna, please forgive us. So our Ustad looked at us and said, Ajeeb, pura saal tumne taklif diya, abhi itna jaldi se maafi karna. All year you give me problems. And now just bust, the end of the year came. Now you want me to make maafi with you? Now you want me to forgive you? All the problems, you didn't do your homework and you didn't do that, missing class. Now the end of the year, bus, last at the ending. But then after that, he said, I forgive you guys, don't worry about it. So here the same thing. Unfortunately, but Allah Ta'ala, that's not like that. It's a more serious situation. There's no coming back to the dunya to fix things up. He failed. Allah Ta'ala then after that mentions, فَالْيَوْمَ نُنَجِّيكَ بِبَدَنِكَ لِتَكُونَ لِمَنْ خَلْفَكَ آيَةً وَإِنَّ كَثِيرًا مِّنَ النَّاسِ عَنْ آيَاتِنَا لَغَافِلُونَ. Allah Ta'ala says, فَالْيَوْمَ, today we will save your body. Today we will save your body. Because what happened was, the people of Bani Israel, Musa alayhi salam said, MashaAllah, Congratulations, Banu Israel. Fir'aun is finally dead. And they said, I didn't see him dead. I don't see his body around here. That man ain't dying. Not that easy. Where is he? When we see him, then we'll believe that he's dead. They were still so scared of Fir'aun. So Allah Ta'ala then brought a wave and threw his body out and threw it onto the shore. And then they realized and saw that there's the body of Fir'aun and he's dead and passed away. So nunajjika bi badanik. Today we save your body. According to some of the mu'arrikheen and the historians, we know that there's a body that they have in some museums, and they say that this is, the body of Fir'aun. Allah Ta'ala knows best. The ayat did not come for that reason, but it could have that meaning also. But the ulama of tafsir have always said that the ayat meant that Banu Israil was scared that he didn't die, so Allah Ta'ala took the body out of the ocean in order to show them his body. That was the real reason. But the ayat, of course, can mean that also. لِمَنْ تَكُونَ لِمَنْ خَلْفَكَ آيَةً. That for those people who come later on, it can be a sign. They can go and see the body of Fir'aun and see that this is Fir'aun, the person who was against Allah Ta'ala, and Allah Ta'ala destroyed him. وَإِنَّ كَثِيرًا مِنَ النَّاسِ عَنْ آيَاتِنَا لَغَافِلُونَ. And there are many from amongst our people who are now unmindful of our signs. They don't understand and know the signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So therefore, even if they see the body of Fir'aun, after that they take a picture, they go back home, and they live the life of Fir'auniyat after that again. May Allah ta'ala save us from Fir'auniyat. May Allah ta'ala make us understand what haqq is, and make us of those people who follow the truth and who repel and don't believe in falsehood. Wa akhir da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Oh, next Friday is Eid. So you guys can come, I won't be here. So somebody else. Eid is nighttime, so people will be, it's the first day of Eid also. So everybody will be probably fasting that day. No, eating. Everyone will be eating that day. So inshallah, we won't be here we'll carry on the week after that, inshallah. And the week after Eid, we'll carry on. Jazakumullah khair. And remember us in your du'as, inshallah. I will not be here for the Eid Salat. I'm going Canada. Always have a vacation be on a chair. I saw my name there. Someone should, however they do that, tell one of the young guys to take that off the teleprompter. Yeah, Mansour Hill will come, inshallah. Mansour Hill will come. He's confirmed.